Hey, this is Jack and Clayton, and this video is called How to Reclaim Your Power in Your Dating. Hey, if you're new to the channel, please just hit subscribe. And if you've not done our free webinar, The 3 Keys to Being Relationship Ready, we'd love to invite you. It's completely free. You can just click the link below this video and find a time that works for you in your time zone. It's some of the best teaching material that we put out. It's been getting awesome reviews, and we'd love to have you as part of it. Just click a link, the first link you'll see below this video, and find a time that works for you in your time zone. So, how can you reclaim your power in dating relationships? This might be relevant to you if you've had any of these experiences. Maybe you felt disrespected by men. Maybe you felt like you've not been able to hold a good boundary with a guy. Maybe you felt like you give and never get back from relationships. If you can identify with any of these experiences, we really want you to listen up because this video will be powerful. So I'm going to toss it over to you, Clayton. Cool. You're going to be Mr. Reclaiming Your Power here.
Amazing.
Yeah, what is it? What is it that most allows someone to either reclaim or just stay in their power in dating?
Okay, well, what comes up for me, and I'm just going to go just straight off the cuff here, what I see as the biggest block to someone being in their power is inauthenticity, or a game that one is playing. Inauthenticity,
okay.
Or a game that one is playing that actually has them not bringing their real self to the interaction.
Got it.
So in other words, it's a mask, a game, a role that you might be playing unconsciously that has the real you sitting back on the bleachers rather than actually being on the field. So what we're going to talk about today is 2 specific ways, 2 of the most common ways that women tend to show up, and this happens from conditioning and learning from childhood, that has you show up in a way that's inauthentic. The first one is called the discarded archetype, and the second one is called the defender. And we're going to talk about how you can tell whether you are in one of these roles, and also what you can begin to notice so you can drop this mask and move more into your power. Do you want to dive into one of them first?
Yeah, so let me take the discarded,
yeah.
Right? So the discarded has the experience in relationship that the power is over there with the other person, and that I have to do something in order to gain and maintain your like and your love. And typically I do that by being pleasing. Typically I do it by limiting my boundaries and limiting my power. So I basically have a strategy that I'm going to give to you, and I'm going to try and please and appease you, because then you will like and love me. And what I might be unconscious to is that under my giving, which I might think of as purely altruistic, there's actually a strategy that's going on, which is if I give to you, then you will love me, and in return you'll want to give to me, right? And this is a kind of covert contract really that we try and strike with people. And typically, if you're in this orientation, you will be confirmed in this orientation by a guy, because you'll find a guy that actually maybe doesn't want to respect you too much, or doesn't want to give to you too much, and that has you locked into this belief that I have to give in order to get love.
Yeah, I love that.
How would someone know? What, like, are there any 1 or 2 behaviors that someone might notice, like if they're stuck in this discarded archetype?
Yeah, I think if you continually find that you're experiencing yourself saying, God, I give this guy everything, I give men everything, but I get nothing in return. That's a clear sign that something's going on, that there might be some over-giving happening that is in line with this covert contract where you're giving to get.
Totally.
So I'd be watching out for that.
Yeah. Just quickly, just notice that you might be running a complaint that guys don't give, right? Or people are mean, or
men are takers.
Right. And just realize that for every taker, you need a giver. Right? So this might be your moment of waking up, that actually, take the complaint away from other people, bring it back home, and notice if there's anything about how you show up.
Yeah. And then another one might be that you are noticing yourself consistently feeling like a doormat.
Right.
In relationships.
Like used, taken advantage of, disrespected. Like, just notice, you probably can connect, if this is true of you, you might have had this experience where your respect always feels like it's on the line, right? Where every experience is either validating or invalidating your sense of respect. Or every experience is allowing you to either roll over or roll over some more, right? Because probably the more you get into this pattern, the more you give in order to try and get out of it, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so let's flip it around, because in some ways these are mirror images, right? So the discarded is kind of sort of over leaning into the other person, kind of over invested, kind of over there. What's going on for the defender?
Yeah, great. So I'm going to just talk about almost the origin story of the defender, and we're going to start over at the discarded archetype. So we can imagine that the discarded archetype, it goes through a number of experiences where she feels like a doormat, she feels like men are takers. She has noticed that there's parts of herself that she's perhaps beginning to fall out of rapport with. She hates the fact that she's needy. She starts to make decisions in her life that she's never going to let it happen again. And she's never going to rely on a guy again. And so suddenly there's an overcorrection into the defender, which is another archetype of a woman who has essentially disowned any type of healthy interdependence. She's disowned her dependence on a guy. She's kind of thrown the baby out with the bathwater.
So easy to do.
Hyper independent, super empowered, most likely in her masculine polarity, where she is 100% self-reliant. She doesn't need a guy. She doesn't need a guy for anything.
Probably has a narrative about needy men, right? Like people are so needy, doesn't want to be needy.
Yep.
Even while, if you really unravel it, there's probably a deep neediness inside that's just never been
she
acknowledged.
hasn't
It's afraid of it.
healed. Yeah. So in some ways, the needy guy, perhaps judgment that she has outside of her, it might remind her of a past version of her.
Yes.
If that's archetype, the discarded was an archetype that she used to be in. So in some ways, what she ends up attracting, because she comes off to men now as impenetrable, is she attracts conquester men.
Right.
So there's two types of guys. Guys that actually see her as a challenge that they want to break through.
Crack through.
They want to crack through. And it's not necessarily that they want to crack her heart open, but rather they're wanting to win. They're wanting to win over her. They're wanting to break her down, and they're wanting to win the game of sex or love with her.
Like you're hard to get. Yeah.
Exactly. And the problem is one of the behaviors that she might notice is that her complaint is, I would love to let down my guard, but every time I do, the guy leaves me.
Right.
And that's what happens if you're attracting conquester guys, is all of a sudden you get these guys in your life that they're wanting to chase, and then you let down your guard, and they're kind of like a cat that finally catches
it's because we can't play the game anymore.
Yeah.
Right? If the game was all about me conquesting and chasing you down, once that's happened, it's sort of like we have to find a new game or there's no game to play.
Totally. The other type of guys that she ends up attracting are men that may not have any backbone at all. So men that will actually allow her to be defended, guarded, completely contained, and the guy will just, rather than demanding or standing up to her that she open, he's fine with her being where she's at.
Kind of checked out of his masculine a little bit.
Checked out of his masculine.
Easy guy, easy going, like a nice comfortable slipper, but not really bringing his full masculine presence.
Exactly.
Yeah. So listen, if any of this is resonating with you, we want to extend the invitation, because these unconscious roles that we're talking about, they're so powerful, and we unpack this in much greater detail on the 3 Keys webinar. So if this is intriguing to you in the slightest, I really want to encourage you just to go ahead now, click that button and find a time that works for you, and we will see you on the webinar.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you.